gentlemen, we're going to start now. Can I ask you please to welcome the President of UCD, Dr. Hugh Brady, the Dean of UCD School of Business, Professor Ciarán O'Hogarty, and the Chairman of UCD Michael Smurfit Graduate Business School, Mr. Paul Harron. And also to welcome our award winners and our very special guests this evening. UCD Smurfit School Alumna of the Year, Caroline Casey. UCD Quinn School Alumnus of the Year, Alan Ennis. UCD Smurfit School Student of the Year, Justin Thomas. And UCD Quinn School Student of the Year, William McMahon. This is an important time in Ireland as we hold the EU presidency, and unfortunately Taoiseach Enda Kenny couldn't join us here this evening. However, he has recorded a short message that I would like to play for you now.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome in this, the year of the gathering. I'm happy that so many of you, our successful diaspora, have come to Dublin tonight to be with your fellow graduates. In particular, I'm delighted to send good wishes to two remarkable people, Caroline Casey and Alan Ennis. As UCD Alumni Award winners, they bring great honour to their university. But equally, they bring great honour to this city and to our country as leaders, as examples of what can be done, of what can be achieved as social and as business entrepreneurs. Through Change Nation, I saw firsthand Caroline's skill in bringing together 50 of the world's leading social innovators to tackle challenges in Ireland's health, education, environment, economic development and civic participation. The second UCD Alumni Award winner, Alan Ennis, is an equally powerful force for change, for possibility and for good. When Ron Perlman offered him the post of President and CEO at Revlon, he took it and now oversees and drives one of the most powerful and enduring brands in the world. So Caroline and Alan are motivated equally by that desire to make the difference and to be the difference. They both typify so much of what is good about Ireland and the Irish people. You see, they bring not just their excellent skill to their work, they bring their best selves. I congratulate them both and wish them and their families the very best in the years ahead. Good maith agaibh for fun.
Students are the lifeblood of our university, and scholarships are a critical part of giving access to third and fourth level education. At UCD School of Business, we never ever underestimate how critical the generous support of our boards, our donors and the business community is in helping us build a truly global, world-class business school. All of us are here because we are extremely proud of how the Quinn School and the Smurfit School draw on the enormous potential Ireland has to offer and drives us forward to create learning centres of excellence. All profits from tonight's fundraising dinner will go to the UCD Centennial Scholarship Fund, which supports students who might not otherwise have access to third and fourth level education, helping us to inspire a new generation of students to become the global leaders of tomorrow. In the past year, mainly through the generosity of people in this room, we've received nearly €1 million in contributions, which enables us to award valuable and essential scholarships. So now let's hear from the students. Let's hear just how life-changing it is to them. But bear in mind that this is only the tip of the iceberg. With your continued support, with more donations, we could easily award so many more scholarships to so many more worthy recipients. The short video that I'm about to play is introduced by Aidan Heavey of Tullow Oil, who is our platinum sponsor this evening. And we really appreciate your ongoing support both to the business school and to the wider university. Thank you.
Tullow Oil is honoured to be the platinum sponsor of this year's Alumni Awards. The awards honour the success and achievement of the business school's graduates, and this year's winners are very worthy recipients.
My name is Benjamin Bechtelsheim. I'm a full-time MBA student and I'm studying at the Michael Smurfit Graduate School of Business.
My name is Pamela Udine and I'm studying the MSc in International Business at UCD Michael Smurfit School.
I'm Ronnie Chaco. I'm a full-time MBA student at the UCD Smurfit Business School.
My name is Alice Varley. My name is Vân Hoàng.
And I'm undertaking an MSc in International Business.
My name is Sandeep Patnaik.
And I'm a student at UCD Michael Smurfit Graduate Business School.
I'm studying the MBA in Michael Smurfit Business School.
My name is Brian Fitzpatrick and I'm studying the MSc Marketing.
It just meant absolutely everything to me because I knew I had the potential to be brilliant and I knew that this school would be the best school to go to enable to enhance what I have.
It provides me opportunity to study in a prestigious university like UCD, which otherwise would not have been accessible to me as a student from India.
The scholarship is really important for me because it brings me one step closer to realizing my dream of becoming a good management and leadership and becoming a good role model for many Muslim women who really lack a good role model in the world.
My family financial situation didn't allow me to become a self-funded student.
It's an achievement for me and I am very much thankful and I feel very, very happy to be a part of this.
They're able to give people the opportunities that otherwise mightn't be available to them.
In the world, there are millions of intelligent people, talented people, but not all of them, maybe only 10% of them could afford going to a good school.
The scholarship is actually a blessing and it means a lot to me. Obviously on the personal front, there is a huge financial burden that's been lifted off.
But sitting in front of the scholarship board, I really felt that that was one of the first times that people really got where I was coming from or understood what it was I wanted to achieve.
Obtaining a scholarship was the difference between being able to pursue the program and not being able to pursue the program.
Well, I think everything about Smurfit is top class. It's one of the only universities in Ireland to be on the milk round for English and UK companies. To me personally is one of the most prestigious schools in the world.
It's quite organised, lectures are good.
You've got lecturers from all over the world with different experiences and different working backgrounds.
I think the breadth of knowledge that we share within the class is amazing.
UCD is known for its high ranking and its excellent outcomes.
They know their subject, but they also know every other subject, and they'll reach out to you. They'll say, like the first day of class, like if you need help, like email me your CV, we're here for your guys, like not just in class, but they're really kind of support inside and out.
Everything is just top.
The environment within the classrooms and within the school, UCD Smurfit School, is very diverse. There's definitely a real melting pot of talent and diversity here at the school. And I think that's actually what makes it so competitive.
If I had the means, I would definitely want to return the favor and help out someone else who's in the same situation.
Well, I've got a scholarship myself and I've seen how much it helps. I would love to give back to the school and help other students pursue scholarship opportunities.
This gesture is going to be with me for a long time, and I think that entire circle will be completed when I actually am in a position to, return the favor back to society.
I would now like to welcome the school chaplain, Father John McNerney, up to the stage to say grace before starter.
So let us invoke God's blessing upon all gathered here. For the faith which we share, for the friendship we enjoy, and for the food which is before us, we give you thanks, O God, asking for the grace always to remember those in need, being always aware that we receive these gifts through your great bounty. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Enjoy your meal.
Can you please welcome to the stage Chairman of the UCD Michael Smurfit Graduate Business School, Paul Harron.
Hi guys, Senator, President, alumni, your families, and all of our guests, friends of UCD Business, thank you very much for coming here tonight. We are very excited. This tonight is a record night for us. But this piece here is the beginning of two parts of the night. And the two parts of the night are a formal celebration of the excellence that we have. And that will move along smartly, but not with indecent haste. And then the second part of the night is having a bit of crack and enjoying yourselves. And hopefully that will move on. We'll have a nice gradual pace and we'll move into the night. Tonight is a record night. Last year when we closed, we said we were full. Well, they've shortened the stage, they've moved back the AV, and they've managed a few extra tables. And we had a waiting list. And I was talking to Tara, and I came up with an idea, well, how does a university manage admissions when there's more people than places? And I suggested maybe we should use the GMAT or your Leaving Cert results to decide who should come. But Tara told me I wouldn't get in then. So we decided we'll do something else. The key thing, though, is to book early because it's like golfers. You know, once this comes up on the web, make sure you have your booking in so you can be sure of your seat next year. 2 years ago, just 2 years ago, Taoiseach Enda Kenny addressed us. I think we were his very first business community that he addressed after becoming Taoiseach. And he made a promise to us and through us to the Irish people that he'd made previously, that he was going to work to help us come back from the precipice. And when he made that promise, the 5-year yield on our bonds was something like 10%. The CDS spread on those five-year bonds was about 600 points. Today, that 5-year bond is about 2.5%. And the CDS spread 175. And what those numbers tell, I know they're just numbers, but what they tell is that the sum of intelligence of all those big investors, of all that wall of money, that's their view of the transformation that is taking place. And NAM has gone out and on the back of our strength has gone out and raised significant funds at very good rates that distinguishes Ireland from others and has prepared to help us leave the bailout on time in a well-funded environment. And our financial institutions are on that path away from intensive care, have been removed from the drip of a guarantee on their loan book. And we can see the impact, say, on Bank of Ireland raising equity on the private markets. We can see our banks raising money on the back of Irish residential mortgages. And so I think to our Taoiseach and to the government, we can say, you have surpassed what you promised, and you really have made a difference. And this country is emerging out of a bailout. But regaining sovereignty shouldn't be anybody's sole ambition. It's necessary, but not sufficient. Our people aren't going to go to bed easier knowing that the Troika aren't here necessarily. What we all want to do is to raise the ambition of the Irish people. Back in the late 90s, we built what they call the Celtic Tiger, on the back of strong industrial performance, of export performance, of a competitive economy. And we had record jobs. And we need to find a way to move from maybe the Celtic Tiger to the Celtic Phoenix. And out of the ashes build a new Ireland, where a strong exporting sector, we can harvest the surplus and use that surplus to reinvest in a sustainable future for all our people. I am very, very positive of our capacity to do that, but I'm only me. But you can see that the international financial markets are also very positive about our capacity. That's why they have distinguished us from the pigs, and we really risk being expelled from that very sort of august body. We in the business school have our responsibilities to do, and even today, at our board meeting, we had a serious discussion about how we can use the talents within the business school, within the wider community of UCD, where Hugh Brady has helped create real strong excellence in research. And how can we use that excellence to reach back out into our communities, business, public and private sector, and the different sectors of our society to help make our contribution to that future? I know that you, our alums, are making that difference, but I hope that we'd all rise to the challenge of even doing something even greater. And I was so impressed by our scholar who said that she knew she was brilliant. Because I know that's what we have around the room here. We have brilliance. And our school has had a wonderful year. Whatever your scorecard, your balanced scorecard, your set of metrics, be it enrolment, be it rankings, be it financial security, be it the growth of our academic community, our capacity, be it our accreditations. The school has gone from good to better. And leading that transformation is our Dean, Kieran O'Hokertig, who I'd like to invite up to the stage. Kieran.
Margaret Town, Fáilte Roibh an seo stíthe agus tá mé anna hásta Fáilte chu roibh go dtí an ihe seo í anna hágach den scoil. This is a very important evening for us this evening for a number of reasons. It allows us to gather together as friends again, as we do every year, and it's very important to us, and you are very important to us as friends. And as a night when we honour our students and our alumni of the year, it allows us to signal who we value, in other words, the people that we honour this evening, but in doing so it also allows us to signal what we value as a school. And the characteristics and the character of the people that we honour this evening are signals, are exemplars of the values of the school as we see them right now. We are very aware and conscious of our role in society and the role of business in society. Our new BCom curriculum reflects that in having modules on business and society and teaching our students the relationship between business and society and business. Similarly, on the MBA, we have very strong threads running through it of the relationship between business and society. And our first honoree this evening, Caroline Casey, is somebody who is an exemplar of that, in that she knows that society has a role to play in shaping business, but business also has a role in shaping society. And throughout her career and what she's done in the area of disability and in working with businesses and other stakeholders, she has changed the relationship, if you like, transformed the relationship between the social and the business and the commercial. And she knows that in implementing change, that it is not only about business, and it is not only implementing change in business, but also implementing change in society. When I rang her to give her, or to let her know of the award, it was also an international moment for us because I was in New York and she was in Spain. And our second honoree, Alan Ennis, is an example of that, in that we like our students and our graduates like Caroline to have an impact in the world, but we like our students and our graduates like Alan to also have an impact throughout the world. And Alan is somebody who has, both in moving from Dublin to Manchester, originally in Ingersoll Rand, and then moving to New York, is somebody who has made the world his own, who has become a citizen of the world, again, like we would like our students to be. And arguably, he is one of the first, and hopefully not the last generation, who left Ireland by choice. And I think very much for our students right now, we have a sense that they see Ireland as a part of a much wider world. And we sense that that is because of a generation who went before, people like Alan Ennis, who have made a difference throughout the world. And in honouring both of those, we also honour two students this evening who also echo and mirror those qualities. Justin Thomas has come to us from the US and is an MBA graduate of last year. And before completing the Smurfit MBA, Justin worked at Thomson Reuters as a senior implementation project manager. And I remember meeting them when they first joined the Smurfit School. We have a dinner for our MBA students, and both himself and his wife had moved to Dublin to do our full-time MBA and to undertake that challenge, if you like. And Justin graduated top of his class with first-class honours, and also participated afterwards in the MBA study group or study program, exchange program at the University of Cape Town in South Africa, again indicating the sense that our students are not only in Ireland but also of the world. During the MBA, he volunteered as the MBA room coordinator, which I know is a challenging job given all the challenges that we have around space, and people who know in universities that one of the touch points, if you like, is space and office space and rooms and so on. He also participated in 2 Smurfit case study competitions, was an active and vibrant member of the class and asked many questions and many piercing and difficult questions at times, which challenged both ourselves and his classmates. He was an all-star bench warmer on the 2012 champion rugby team, which won the NBA Rugby World Trophy in the US, and I'm glad to say that our NBA team also won last week the NBA World Trophy for yet another year. And when I asked him earlier, was he an entrepreneur or a social entrepreneur? And he said, make it social entrepreneur, make it sound cool. Because Justin, since leaving UCD, his wife and himself have started a non-profit company called Playing Grown Up to help equip students for life after college. And as part of this, they're traveling around the States. They've driven over 10,000 miles right now in developing this particular project, which has become a great interest of theirs. So they are providing seminars to students on making the transition between student life and work. And we're very pleased this evening that they made it here with us and made it here to us to share this evening with us. I'm very pleased to honour and to present the medal for the UCD Student of the Year for the UCD Michael Smurfit Graduate School of Business to Justin Thomas, MBA Graduate Student of 2012.
Thank you and good evening. It's very humbling to stand before you. I'd like to share a quick story of my very first MBA class. It was accounting, and the professor asked us, how quickly should we depreciate a certain asset? I raised my hand, gave an answer, and I knew it wasn't good when the professor started shaking her head and said, God help us if MBA students answer questions like this for the whole year. So it was with great humility that I accept this award on behalf of the 2012 MBA class. I can't thank the number of people that contributed to my success and the amount of time that I have, but I would like to, if you would indulge me in 2 people. The first is my wife, who's with me tonight, and she not only helped me prepare for presentations and case studies, but also became a well-known figure for my classmates because she would bring in baked goods, cookies, pies, Rice Krispie treats, and unknown to me, at the end of the year, my classmates collected funds and awarded her Partner of the Year recognition. So tonight, I'm just happy to catch up to her in the award category in the family here. The other person I'd like to briefly thank is my late grandfather, who's not able to be with us here tonight, but through his keen foresight and investment into my college education, I had my own scholarship fund to come here to Smurfit. He passed away just after I graduated, and it's an honor to accept this award on his behalf here tonight. And I certainly didn't succeed as an MBA student through rugby skills, as you can see through my physique here, nor was it through IQ, but it was a belief in something greater than myself. So I tried to live by a Proverbs that I'll leave with you tonight, and that's, let love and faithfulness never leave you, bind them around your neck, write them on the tablet of your heart, then you will win favor and a good name in the sight of both God and of man. So tonight, I'm very grateful that I've won favor in your eyes as an MBA student, and I'll strive to do so now as an alumni. Thank you.
And similarly, in the context of both students who think of others, people other than themselves and a world outside themselves, and our students who think internationally and who are citizens of the world, our UCD Quinn School of Business Student of the Year 2013 is William McMahon, BSc 2012. And William Quinn McMahon is a University College Dublin graduate with the first class honours in the BSc Economics and Finance degree. Prior to entering UCD, he had received both the Student of the Year and the Business Student of the Year awards from the De La Salle College in Dundalk, in addition to an entrance scholarship to UCD based on his Leaving Certificate results. So he would have got in this evening if that had one of the criteria. During his college years in UCD, William carried out a range of activities, and again, this I think is a signal of how we value the international dimension of our student experience. He was a volunteer worker in Guatemala, making a difference in the world. He did a summer finance course at the London School of Economics, attaining an A grade. He had an internship at JP Morgan in London in the Mergers and Acquisition team in 2010, and he was the UCD and a second internship in 2012 in the Leveraged Finance team. He was a UCD Deloitte Campus Ambassador in 2009. He's a member of the founding team which launched the Irish University Entrepreneurship Forum for young Irish innovators, entrepreneurs to showcase their business concepts in 2012. And he won one of the UCD President's Awards for attaining the highest grade in his year in 2012. So we can see that he has a great life before him as well as behind him. I have made his mother's evening, I think, Patricia, by when I was introducing myself to her, I said, "I presume you're his mother," and then suddenly thought she could be his sister, which I then shared with her, and Patricia, I think, it's a great honour for us to have you here with us this evening, and I think, as I say, I've made her evening. William also represented UCD on two separate occasions, firstly in Washington, D.C. as part of an international case study team at Georgetown University in 2011, secondly in the Marshall Cup, which was an international case study competition held at the University of Southern California in Los Angeles in 2012. William was offered and currently works in a full-time position with JP Morgan Cazenove in London, and decided to join the UK and Ireland Mergers and Acquisitions team, so he has not gone too far from home. But I think, again, he is an example of a student who has both the values that see a world outside himself and the initiative and the excitement and the endeavour that sees a world beyond our shores. I'm very honoured and pleased to award the UCD Quinn School of Business Student of the Year 2013 to William McMahon.
Thank you so much for this great award. First of all, it's just a huge honour to be here with so many distinguished individuals. Winston Churchill once said that kites fly highest against the wind. And as Irish graduates today, never before have we faced such strong winds in the form of economic uncertainty. However, I've never been more confident that UCD has equipped myself and my fellow colleagues with the knowledge, experience, and self-belief to succeed and compete internationally, as Alan and Caroline have done. So, in accepting this award, I'd just like to thank a huge number of people, so I'll try and keep it short. Starting with UCD, thank you for the 4 best years of my life. It's where I learned a huge amount. I made some of my best friends, and I experienced a huge number of things for the first time, but given my parents are in the room, I won't disclose any further on that. I'd like to thank my parents, my brother Dylan, who have always supported me, and who have kept very quiet during study periods, which, being a nerd, can be quite a long period of time. I'd also like to thank my beautiful girlfriend Kelly, who I actually met in UCD and thankfully is still with me. And finally, I'd just like to leave one special thank you to a very special lady in my life, and that's my Nana. Now, she's a very small lady, quite stubborn as well. It's hard to get her out of the house, actually. But she's made the effort to come all the way to Dublin today to be with me. And it just shows how much it means to myself and my family to receive this award. It's a huge honour. Thank you so much.
We were saying at the board meeting this morning that our students are our best advertising, and I think what's remarkable to me this evening is that William mentioned to me that he had written that speech on the flight on the way over, and I said to him the best speech are the spontaneous ones, and I think that's the case. I think we're both very proud of both of our Students of the Year. We're also very proud of our Alumni of the Year for people who make a difference in the world and a difference throughout the world. Making a difference in the world, Caroline Casey, BA 92, DBS 96, MBS 97, the UCD Michael Smurfit Graduate Business School Alumna of the Year 2013. We have a presentation to show, and then we'll present the award. Thank you very much.
Caroline Casey is the founder of the not-for-profit organisation Canchi and its pioneering social franchise, the Ability Awards. She is a serial social entrepreneur, driving societal change aimed at nothing less than a complete reframing of disability. Caroline, formerly a management consultant with Accenture, is a social entrepreneur and adventurer.
She had the most extraordinary can-do attitude about the way she went about everything.
She left her position with Accenture in 2000 to trek over 1,000 kilometres across India on an elephant. She then founded Canchi, which she named after that elephant.
She had this incredible vision about what she wanted to achieve for people with disabilities.
Caroline's vision is to create an inclusive world for people with disabilities by engaging the business and media worlds on their own terms. She does this by using language and methodologies that people can understand and easily adopt.
So she has brought some kind of energy, focus, and actually she's helped many large companies understand how to think about and frame and talk and articulate.
Canchi designs innovative products and initiatives centred around the disability business case.
Caroline has an amazing sense of purpose to get companies, to get individuals to appreciate the difference in people, see their ability rather than their disability.
And I think she has helped me see my life through very different eyes, and for that I'm very grateful.
To attract and motivate businesses at this level, Caroline devised the Ability Awards to build awareness of the disability business case and formally recognise the efforts of organisations committed to demonstrate best practice in this developing area.
Caroline is passionate. She's passionate about what she does. She's passionate about the people that she deals with. She's passionate about the people that are influenced and helped by Canchi.
She's also really bridging the different sectors together, business, civil society and government working in partnership.
She has showcased best practice in the whole area of disability, particularly in business.
Well, I think she's a role model. First of all, she's met her own personal challenges, her sight impairment, with independence and with success.
Not just success, Caroline has vision which wins her many accolades. She was the first Irish person to be appointed a young global leader of the World Economic Forum. She is also an Ashoka Fellow and an Eisenhower Fellow and holds an honorary doctorate from National University Ireland.
Her vision has been an inspiration to us all. Her belief in what she can do and to change the world, the way it needs to behave and understand what her cause.
She is a fantastic leader, a fantastic communicator.
Caroline's energy and enthusiasm have made her a sought-after public speaker.
Who are the most influential people in the world? Oh yeah, okay, we know those people, but who? Business. Business are the most influential people in the world.
She has become a well-known figure in the Irish media world and has also travelled the globe to speak on her leadership work at prestigious events and forums.
She's a thoroughly well-deserved award winner.
Her determination and perseverance are an example to us all.
She is so deserving of it. It's fantastic news.
So she's making the world a bit better because she is using her own experiences.
Caroline, nobody more than she deserves such an award.
Caroline, congratulations. You're fantastic. Well done, and you deserve it, girl.
Congratulations, Caroline. You're an inspiration to us.
Congratulations, Caroline, and well done.
Congratulations, Caroline. Thoroughly well deserved. Well done.
We're extremely proud of all you've achieved and all you've done, and I really wish you my very best regards and hope to see you soon. Thank you.
I said to Caroline beforehand, you'll enjoy the video, and she said, will it make me cry? And I said it might. I think it has. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome Caroline Casey, UCD Michael Smurfett Graduate Alumna of the Year for 2013. Thank you.
Okay, bear with me. I might see some of you a little bit better from here. I have 5 minutes, and I'm sorry if I'm going to go on for more. I know I'm a public speaker, supposedly, but this isn't my work. This is very personal. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart. When Kieran rang and told me towards the end of last year, I got this phone call. I was in the back of a taxi and leaving Madrid after an incredibly disappointing meeting in Telefonica with this multi-million global deal for our global ambitions. It was looking tricky, and I was having to cry. And this phone rings and I randomly pick it up, and it's Kieran, and he goes, hi, and does the doodah. And Caroline, you know, we do an Alum of the Year thing. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, of course, no problem, I'll be there. And we'd like to give you the Alum of the Year award. And I just went really quiet because I couldn't catch my breath. And he said, are you still there? I said, I am. Awards come at really good times in our life. This award means more to me than you could ever imagine. Because in that day, I thought we had lost everything that we had hoped for. But Kieran's phone call was like telling me, you just keep trucking, girl. You keep fighting. And 3 months later, we saved the deal. For those of you who know me very personally, know that this award comes at an incredibly important time. I've personally had a very difficult situation over the last 3.5 years, where your confidence is taken from underneath you. And so standing here accepting something when you tell me you think I'm kind of good feels a little at odds. But my gosh, I appreciate it even the more. We're 12 years doing this. I'm 41 years old. I couldn't need it more. This award says that you believe in me. Maybe even when I've forgotten to believe in myself, you believe in me. The importance of belief, of the hand on our backs, as we go out and try and change the world, build careers, build families, rebuild this beautiful, extraordinary, complex country of ours. Central to that is belief. And I thank you so much for putting your hand on my back and saying that we believe in you. And we believe in your dangerous ambition. And we want you to keep going. And it's more important that it's an award given from a business school and a business community, because you're my guys. You're the room that I beg to talk to all the time. Because you are core. You're essential. You're the key to Canchi's mission, which is to unleash the power of 1 billion people with a disability globally. 1 billion people. 1 billion people's power and value. And you can do it. Our market-driven approach is so not about charity and pity and dependency. It's about empowerment and customers and employees and suppliers. There's 1 billion of us. We have 9 trillion disposable income. We're your hidden market. We don't need your charity. And if we can help you become inclusive, then society will become inclusive. And that's our job. We want to give you the opportunity. Society will benefit. And the thing is, disability, despite the fact that there's 1 billion of us globally and growing, we don't have a Nelson Mandela or a Bono or a Bill Gates or a Richard Branson yet to advocate on our behalf. And I'm not sure why. My guess is disability is complicated. It's a thing that none of us really want to be. That's why I hid mine for so long. So in the absence of one leader, we're going to get 1,000 of you. And so our ambitions are to bring the Ability Programme to 10 countries in 5 years, 1,000 ability companies, 1,000 CEOs, 10 heads of state. Oh my good God, do I need you to believe in us? And that will be the trip switch of a global business movement on inclusive business. It will be the new green. It is the new green. Inclusive business is the thing you will all be speaking about in a few years' time. Will you be the early adopters or the followers? But we will be talking about it, and Ireland began it. And isn't it an extraordinary thing that a trip on an elephant, when I so ceremoniously fell out of a closet about being disabled, led to a global business movement replacing the green movement? I'd never have imagined it. And I couldn't have done it alone. I need to acknowledge the extraordinary people who spoke in that video. I called them the 4 Ds: Dermot Desmond, Dennis O'Brien, Danuta Gray, and Doreen McInerney. Without them, I wouldn't be here. I also wouldn't be here without the extraordinary team, Canchi team, who have passed through, been with us, and the ones that are still here. And I think they're sitting over there. And if you do me the honor, please give these guys a round of applause. In their hearts and in their souls, they fight because we know we're going to win. We know we absolutely will win. And our board, chaired by Paddy Tehan, and we have our board members, Mark O'Donnell and Kathleen McLaughlin, here with us today. You know, these are people who are taking a risk. These are the guys who are making it happen. And Mark Ryan, if you're in this room, you still make me cry. He was the man that I came to and said I wanted to go away to India. And he said, go. And he was the only Irish business who gave me money to leave him. So Mark, thank you. And of course, there's a very special group of people in my life, my friends, who are deeply important to me, who've supported me. And the wonderful man who has taken me on, Gar Houlihan. Thank you so much for being my partner in crime. But there's a very exceptional duo to whom I owe everything to. I am the UCD Smurfit Alum of the Year because I am their alum. I am the alum of Jerry and Valerie Casey. And I want to set the record straight. So many people ask me, was I angry that they never told me I could see? Or I only discovered I couldn't see as well as you when I was 17 years old? I was not angry. I have never been angry. Because in them telling me I couldn't see, they gave me all the vision in the world. This is your award, Mum and Dad. Education is incredibly important. This school is incredibly important. The things that you create and given us, the aspirations, the hope, the more, is extraordinary. But I could only take the best from the Smurfit School, from UCD, because they gave me the best education of all. It's not what you are, Caroline. It is who you are. As parents, they built in resilience and courage and integrity and values and never give up. They believed in me when I crashed. And when I used to fall and crack against a wall, my dad said, did you apologize to the wall? They never let me have an excuse for failure. Parents is where the real education begins. Thank you for allowing me the education you've given me. Thank you for giving me the strength to continue on. Thank you for being the best educators in the world. Jerry and Valerie Casey, I have no idea where you are in this room, but this is your award. Thank you. Stand for my parents. You see, we do it right. You see, thank you so much for giving them the honour. It's theirs. But I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them, but thank you for letting me be your alum. The Smurfit School was the place where I finally unravelled. And under the tutors of Professor Aidan Kelly, I finally learned to accept that I was legally blind. And it was during my master's that I did register blind, because I wanted the free bus pass. The white stick took about 5 years later, but we're okay. And that's when I trip switched into Accenture. But my time in Smurfit was a time that I felt I could be more. Smurfit is about being more. More. I can be more. You made me think differently. You pushed me. You shoved me. You kicked my ass. And I came out the other end not so bad. And I'm going to end on something that I believe is intrinsic in the Michael Smurfit School. I believe we have a moment in our lives, in our time right now, to be dangerous. And it's my favourite quote of all. Please produce dangerous dreamers in this extraordinary school of ours for our extraordinary country. I'm tired of people saying they want, they will. It's all daydreams. It's time for us to be dangerous together, because one dangerous person can be extraordinary, but 1,000 of us, 1 billion of us can be amazing. And this is the quote: all men dream, but not equally. There are those of us who dream at night in the dusty recesses of our mind, and we wake in the day and we think it was just vanity. But there are other of us who dream in the day with their eyes wide open. And we're the dangerous men. Dangerous because we make things happen. We have a choice for our country, for the next generation of our students, for the people who we all care about, to be dangerous. My dream is a dangerous ambition to have 1 billion people be recognised for their value and contribution. Everybody tells me, not everybody, but lots, impossible. It's impossible. But impossible is an opinion. And it's not mine. And Smurfit was part of making me not have an opinion like that. It is not my opinion. And there's 1 billion reasons why it shouldn't be. Thank you.
Sometimes there are great privileges in a job like this, and one of them was calling Caroline and Alan, as it happened, to let them know the award. I realised on the other side of the line how important it was. And I think it's very important for us this evening to have had the opportunity to present Caroline Casey with an award to recognise her making a difference in the world. Making a difference throughout the world for his contribution in the context of his international business career and currently as CEO and President of Revlon in New York. I'm very pleased to present Alan Ennis, BCom 1991, as the UCD Quinn School Alumnus of the Year.
Alan Ennis graduated from University College Dublin with a Bachelor of Commerce degree in 1991. That same year, he began his career with Arthur Andersen in Dublin.
Alan had amazing maturity and self-confidence and presence for such a young guy, and that came through at the interviews immediately, and it also came through subsequently working with clients. His confidence, his maturity, his self-composure. He was like a guy who was in his 30s rather than somebody of 21 or 22.
He was a staff person, then a senior, then a manager. He participated very fully in all of the Arthur Andersen activities, made a great contribution, as I say.
He also has a Master of Business Administration degree from NYU Stern. He is a chartered accountant and member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants in Ireland.
I believe Alan is very deserving of this, because not alone is he a proud graduate of UCD, and to anyone who will listen, he will boast about the great education he got there, and indeed in Blackrock College.
I had the pleasure of living with Alan for a couple of years back in Blackrock School. We were both boarders together. You know, it was a special time in our lives for everyone, and there's plenty of stories about Alan in schools.
He used to cut everybody's hair all the way through Blackrock.
very good earner for him. I think it was an Irish punt per cut, a buzz cut, plus tips of course. It was very hard to get an appointment back in those days.
I knew and could see he was very ambitious. While I burnt the tracks around America, he certainly burnt the midnight oil with his dedication towards his academic achievements. But I also recall the wonderful entertainer that he is, because on his many visits to Rye, New York, when we Irish had our parties there, he used to always bring the guitar along and entertain us throughout the evening.
Since April 2009, Alan has become Revlon's President and Chief Executive Officer. He has been a director on the company's board since March 2009.
Well, to reach the top of a major American corporation takes a lot of stuff.
On top of which, he's a reporter's idea of a perfect CEO in that you ask him a question and he gives you an answer.
Alan has focused on realising the company's vision of glamour, excitement and innovation through high-quality products at affordable prices, and achieving the strategic goal of profitability, growing the business through teamwork and strong leadership.
He finds people who are hardworking and gives them a shot, and he couldn't be happier when it all works out.
He's a real teller of the message. He's a real sower of the seed internationally. He's somebody who you can rely on to spread the good word about your institution.
Alan is on the board of directors of the Ireland-US Council, which was founded in 1963 by Irish and US business leaders with the purpose of building business links between the US and Ireland.
He's passionate about it, he's committed, he is incredibly smart, and he is strategic, and he has a wicked sense of humor.
Alan was the 2011 recipient of the National Breast Cancer Coalition Leadership Award.
I would honour Alan every year if I could, because he deserves it.
Alan's hard work and expertise on a global basis has led to great success.
My deep congratulations to Alan. We are so proud of you as a stellar alumnus.
Congratulations, Alan. Well done on a fantastic achievement.
So congratulations from all the gainers.
My grandmother in Dublin used to say on occasions like this, imagine the likes of you getting the likes of that from the likes of them. Well, I say congratulations and well-deserved honour.
You are an outstanding character and long may you continue to have fulfilment, and I wish you God's blessings.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alan Ennis. Thank you very much.
Yes. So listen, it's not all about hanging out with the hot women. Although it does make my job a whole lot easier, I must say. I'm thrilled to be here tonight. Thank you all for this honour. It's a true privilege, and I'm humbled to accept this award. Thank you to President Brady, Dino O'Hogarty, who I knew back in my days in Arthur Anderson, and to all of those who made tonight happen. Tara Collins, wherever you are, Tara, you're an absolute superstar. Without you, this wouldn't happen. Thank you, Tara. I'm absolutely thrilled to share the stage, Caroline, with you. You're an inspiration. In fact, maybe I should take some time off and jump on an elephant and see if I can do something as important as you're doing. I also want to congratulate Justin and William. Well done. William's wife actually is from Virginia, and so they put my wife, who's from Pennsylvania, beside the Virginia girl so they could actually chat about stuff that they would find important. It's a wonderful achievement for both of you. I wish you both the best of luck in your future careers. I'm joined by my family over here, the Ennis clan, my mother Maggie, who's here, her good friend and mine, Bertie Howran, my brothers, Michael and Stephen, both graduates from UCD, and their wives, Catherine and Irene. My two nephews, Tom and Joe, who are both currently students in Blackrock College and hopefully future students at UCD. My groomsmen, Simon Dean and his wife, Muireann. And I'm also delighted that Senator Eamon Coughlin is here. I have my guitar at the back, Eamon, if you're still around later on. I'm also delighted that my uncle and aunt, Professor Joe Ennis and Dr. Mary Ennis, are here with their good friends, Jim and Mary. So as Kieran mentioned, I graduated from UCD in 1991 with a BCom degree. And at the time, if you recall, there wasn't that many jobs in Ireland. And in fact, the only companies that were hiring commerce students at the time really were the accounting firms. And I didn't particularly want to be an accountant. And I wanted to go on and do a master's degree. My dad felt it was more important that I get a job. And so he sat me down and he said, son, listen, I know that you think you don't want to be an accountant, but you do. You just don't know it yet. And in hindsight, actually, when I look back on it, becoming an accountant with the Institute and training with Arthur Anderson was probably the smartest thing I did, and certainly became the backbone of my professional career from that point forward. I'm delighted that many of my Anderson colleagues are here tonight. You saw Breffney Byrne and David Marr talking there, and thank you, David and Conal O'Halloran, both at KPMG now, for organising the table with many of my classmates from the year of 1991. So as you saw on the screen, there is an element of my job that is celebrity focused, and I do have the opportunity to go to things like the Golden Globes and the Oscars and to rub shoulders with the rich and famous. But I can tell you, I know exactly where I stand in terms of recognition. I'll tell you a funny story, that the picture that you saw standing between what I call the two Jessicas, Jessica Alba and Jessica Biel, was taken at a fundraising event, a charity event that Revlon hosts every year, and it's targeted at women's cancer. And we raise over $1 million every year at that event. It's a huge success. But anyway, as those photographs were being taken, and I'm standing between these two fabulous, talented women, and I'm happy as a pig in muck, and the photographers are flashing. And as the photographer bulbs start to quieten down, one of the photographers yells out to the other, "Does anybody know the name of the guy in the middle?" And the answer was they didn't. So I stepped aside, and then the photographers really took off, you know. When I left Ireland in 1997 and went to Manchester, it was a big step for me. I was a 27-year-old lad and was taking what would arguably be a risk. I was leaving a very reputable accounting firm and moving to a city that I knew nobody, in a country that I didn't really know much about. And my mother gave me a little small frame with a pressed flower and a small quote. And the quote said, "There are two things you give your children. One is roots and the other is wings." And I look at the quote, it hangs in our house in New Jersey now, and I look at it every day. The roots part of it is about your parents giving you what is arguably the most important part of your upbringing, which is teaching you the values in life, what's important, what matters, and what doesn't matter. And secondly, giving you the opportunity to get educated in a place like UCD, which is a wonderful education for me, and indeed prior to that in Blackrock College and onwards at New York University. And the courage then for your parents to give you the wings to go and do something that might be a little bit away from the nest. And of course, now that I'm a parent, I realize how hard that will be when my 9-year-old daughter becomes 18 and says, "Dad, I'm heading off to Sydney, Australia." But I want to thank my mother, my late father. If he's up there, he certainly has a pint of Guinness in his hand, and he's raising it in honor of this celebration. So thank you, Mom, for allowing me to do what I wanted to do. So just one last thought. I was asked recently, what is the most important lesson I've learned in my professional career? And without doubt, it is the ability to admit that you're wrong. And I tell my team that I will be wrong half the time, only half the time. And if they can be right half the time that I'm wrong, then as they say in the American batting average, getting 3 out of 4 right is pretty good. My wife would probably disagree that I'm only wrong half the time. And in fact, when my wife and my mother are with me, I'm actually wrong all the time. Anyway, thank you to UCD for this wonderful honor. It's a privilege to be here tonight, and enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you.
So just to finish, I mentioned earlier that one of the privileges is making phone calls like I had to make, the privilege to make to both Caroline and Alan. The other privilege for me as Dean of the UCD Smurfit School, one of the other privileges is to work with a fantastic team of people. And Justin Thomas, before we started, said to me coming in, this is building success on success. And that's our aim as a school, that we want to be a school which has impact, like the students and the alumni you've seen this evening, a school which is international, like the students and the alumni you've seen this evening. And one of the people who's an exemplar of that I'd particularly like to thank this evening, as mentioned already, somebody who sets the bar for herself every year at a very high standard and then meets and exceeds it. A privilege to have on a fantastic team that I work with in the school, and that's Tara Collins. And I'd like to particularly thank Tara for her work this evening. And I also like my team to tell me when I'm wrong or when we need to close up. Tara will have me on the clock, so I'll finish now. Gurmina morgar fad, vín sé íntacha tasíntacha sibh shos an tróna, bunig gitana vasani anihe agus kimi chiv an sha arish and tam shom din shahagin. Gurmina morgar.